Hello adventurers, it is I, Soloist Adventure, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And for today, it is the last video of my series this month. So I'm talking all about how solo tabletop RPGs leveled me up. And so today's topic, we're talking about how solo tabletop RPGs, or just tabletop RPGs in general, it's not about winning. So for today's imagery here, we have this barbarian elf and she spots you, a traveling adventurer, and she sees that you have a lot of potential. So she's asking you to join her in her adventures as you guys go off into the wilderness. So when it comes to tabletop RPGs, I think it's really key that you find value in the process, and it's not about the result, because you really never know. When you play a tabletop RPG, you never know about the result. Your character can die, for example, or your antagonist in the adventure, he may quote unquote win, and he might be able to, I don't know, take over the town, or he was able to unleash the great undead or something. And so again, it's not about the result, it's all about the process. And that's something that I do want to tell people. If they've never played tabletop RPGs, do not expect that you will quote unquote win. And that is something very different compared to playing a board game, to playing a video game. It's not really about winning, it's really all about the process, the journey before the destination, as Brandon Sanderson would say. All right, so for number one, progress is subtle and it's not instant. So when you are playing a video game, for example, you know that your character will probably start off as a level 1 character with not much given. Like maybe he would have like a starting weapon, maybe a couple gold coins or something, and that's really it. And as the video game like progresses, you'll start to see how the story is designed and how the creator or the game designer wanted the storyline to go. So when it comes to now tabletop RPGs, it's kind of the same in the sense of that advancement is slow. Like your PC, of course, if you are creating a character as either a level 0 or a level 1, your PC will slowly gain experience and gain tools, and eventually will even meet other NPCs that are key to the adventure. And another thing that I like to think about too is when your adventurer is going on a side quest, for example, maybe they got a little bit derailed from the main plot of the adventure. Completing those side quests, they may take a while, and that is okay. And I think it's important that you know that your character is alive and it's this living being that's present in the world that you are creating. And so I think it's really important to allow your character to go off and venture off in different things to kind of see how they grow and progress as a person. And now, number 2, the most impactful moments are not planned. And I think that is the best part about tabletop RPGs. The best scenes often happen organically after laying the foundation, the groundwork. So whenever I try to build a region or a world, I try to make it incomplete. So that leaves room for more growth. And I think it's important to leave those details up to the dice. And that's why tabletop RPGs are so fun, because you never know how, I don't know, how maybe like locations or NPCs or even your character, how they evolve over time. And so I think that's kind of the best part, is that these things are just not planned. Now, number 3, narrative arcs take time. So I guess depending on how you want your adventure to grow, right? That will happen over multiple sessions. And so we have random tables, we have dice. You are role playing as your PC. Your PC will be making different choices to kind of guide how the adventure will progress. And so I know for me, when I was just playing yesterday, my Troika adventure, we had over here, yeah. So we had Wyatt exploring the city of Troika. And Wyatt is this rebellious teen who is, I guess he is going through a grief. He lost his father, and he doesn't really know like what happened to his father, and he wants to, I guess, figure out and avenge his death. He wants to really understand what happened to his dad. And so, depending on the choices that Wyatt will make, they may either be good or bad. He does have a rebellious side to him, so we'll kind of see eventually how that rebellious side kind of plays out in the adventure. And now, number 4, you accept the imperfect or incomplete beginnings. It can start messy, and that is okay, because sometimes when you have everything prepped and you're ready to play, sometimes you even think to yourself, okay, well, where do I start? And I think that is an okay question, and you shouldn't be, I guess, overwhelmed or intimidated by that question. Think about your characters. Where would you see them in the city? What is their day-to-day life like? And you should also give space for randomness. You don't need to plan everything out. And now for number 5, you become tolerant of boredom. And that is something that I have started to notice throughout this year of playing tabletop RPGs. Not every session is going to be exciting. Because sometimes when I play my games and I show you guys on YouTube how my sessions go, there are times where I'm like in the middle of playing a scene and in my head I'm like, this doesn't sound exciting, like at all. And that is okay, because that's kind of normal in life. Sometimes the stillness of the quiet night, or maybe the boring slow travel, that reflects kind of the city, the region that you're exploring, the everyday life of people in that like local town. And I think that's also important for you as you were building your tabletop RPG like GM and player mindset, that this also kind of helps build endurance as well. You're learning endurance as a player, but you're also learning endurance as a GM. Because I know for me, in the couple of times that I have done a game for some of my friends, there are times where I'm thinking, okay, this is starting to kind of seem a little boring. I can kind of tell that they're not really engaged as much. And sometimes I think that is okay to just embrace that. Of course, you can always like roll on random tables to kind of see like what happens next if you do want to spice things up a bit or surprise your characters. But I think this is also really good practice for you to build that endurance and to also practice that improv kind of mindset, because it is really hard to kind of think on the spot, but that's okay. I hope you are giving yourself grace and not throwing away your game or something and thinking like, oh, this is so boring, I don't want to like do this anymore. I think that is okay. You can of course just press that exit button and just forget about the game that you're playing, or you can just embrace it and build that endurance and just see how the story will progress. So that is it for this video. I hope you understand that it's not about winning, it's really all about the story and how things progress over multiple sessions as you are playing. So I hope this was a encouraging video, and I also hope that the series just in general kind of show you how tabletop RPGs can benefit you as a human, as a creative being, and I also hope that you embrace the process. Thank you all for joining me in this adventure with this series for August. So thank you as always, and make sure to join my Patreon if you want to see some content outside of what you see on YouTube, on Instagram. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much, adventurers. Until next time.